Alright, so this is going to be the tips and tricks video, just a couple of shortcuts and cool little features you can add to the Dillon 650 just to make your reloading experience that much more pleasurable. So the first thing I want to introduce you to is the powder alarm system. You kind of get in the moment watching the machine. You're looking at the dies and the tool head and watching the cases, but sometimes we forget to kind of keep an eye on the powder just to see how much we have left. And these Dillons are a little finicky. When they run low, they'll start throwing oddball charges. So it's good to have one of these in place. Basically, there's a little disc in here that indexes the top of the powder, and when you run too low, this rod falls, contacts a little button here that will sound an alarm. So super easy to install. It just goes in place of your cap, and you just set that there. It's got a nice little light to let you know you're messing up. So that's one little tip. Another little tip here I have on here on the primer tube plunger. I place a 45 case which fits right on this stick very nicely. That just gives it a little bit of weight, so if you find that the primers aren't sliding down that magazine tube very well, you just add just that little more weight and you'll never have a problem. Alright, so moving on down the machine here, another problem, well, not necessarily problem, but another issue or feature with the 650 is if you have an issue with a case during the reloading process, the priming system in this isn't able to retain a primer that was indexed but didn't get pushed into a case. So what happens is it falls down this little ramp here, and more often than not, when it slides down this ramp, it gets to the end here and just kicks right out, and eventually at the end of your reloading session you'll have half dozen or so primers just sitting around from little mistakes you might have made. So what I do is I take a small piece of tape and I'll stick it to the machine right about like this, fold a little under, and then just wrap it around like that. And that's not going to inhibit anything. It's just going to keep the primers that do not make it into the shell cases. It's going to keep them in one little spot so you can pick them back up and stick them back in the magazine tube for later use. All right, and lastly, you can see that I've upgraded the handle. This is like about a $45 upgrade from Dillon. The billet aluminum handle, just easy to hang on to as compared to that NASCAR style kind of gear shifter ball end that after a few thousand rounds in a nice progressive reloading day will eat your hand raw. This makes it much nicer to run the machine, and definitely a recommended upgrade if you guys don't have one already. It's worth the 45 bucks for sure. So that's about it, guys. I still have one more little upgrade to do, but I'm going to leave that for a separate video. Appreciate you guys sticking around. You guys know the drill. Hit that sub button, give me a thumbs up, and stick around.